In the quiet morning light of the desert, where the sand still held the chill of night, a lone cowboy named Luke Maddox saw death circling in the sky. Black vultures turned slowly over a hidden ravine. Most men would ride past, but something in Luke's heart told him to check. He found her there, an old Apache woman lying hurt beside her dead mule. Blood marked her clothes, and bruises covered her arms and face. She looked small and broken against the red rocks, yet her eyes still held fire. Luke jumped down from his horse quickly. "Easy now, ma'am," he said in a calm voice. He gave her water from his canteen. She drank slowly, then coughed and opened her eyes wider. "Carter, brothers, they came like wolves." Luke's face grew hard. He knew the Carter brothers well. They were cruel outlaws who robbed and killed without mercy. Many good people had died by their guns. The old woman's name was Nolin. She was not an ordinary woman. She was a respected elder of her Apache people, returning home after a long journey. The outlaws had attacked her only for the little food and blankets she carried. Without wasting a moment, Luke lifted her gently onto his horse. "I'm taking you to safety," he said. "My camp is not far." As they rode, Nolin rested against him. The desert wind whispered around them. Luke felt the weight of her trust. He knew leaving her alone would mean her death, so he made a promise in his heart. He would take her all the way back to her village. That night, at his small camp, Nolin grew stronger. She told him stories of her people, brave warriors who fought not for glory, but to protect the weak. She spoke of spirits that watched over the land, and of men who became true warriors, not by birth, but by their choices. "You have a good heart," she said softly. "Not many white men would stop for an old Apache woman." Luke smiled a little. "I just did what felt right, ma'am." The next morning, their real journey began. It was not only a trip across dry land and rocky canyons. It became a path that slowly joined two different lives. Nolin shared more tales as they rode. She told him about ancient battles, about the strength of family, and about visions that showed the future. Luke listened quietly. For the first time in many lonely years, he felt he was part of something bigger than himself. Then trouble came fast. Gunshots cracked through the morning air. The Carter brothers had picked up their trail. Bullets kicked up dust near the horse's feet. Luke pushed Nayland low and fired back with his rifle. He guided the horse toward rocks for cover. "Hold on tight," he shouted. They escaped that first attack, but both knew the danger was not over. The outlaws wanted revenge now. The trail grew harder as they entered Red Canyon, a place of tall red walls and narrow paths where enemies could hide easily. Shadows felt alive there. One evening, Nayland took a smooth, dark stone from her small bag. She placed it in Luke's hand. "This is the warrior's blessing," she said. "It is given only to those who protect others without asking for anything in return. You are worthy, Luke." Luke looked at the stone and shook his head. "I'm just a simple cowboy, Nayland, not a warrior." She smiled wisely. "The true warrior does not see himself as one. That is why he is strong." Her words stayed with him. The next attack came even harder. This time the Carter gang was ready. Bullets flew from above. Luke thought fast. He slapped his horse to run forward alone, drawing the outlaw's eyes. Then he climbed the rocky wall quickly and jumped down from high ground onto the leader, Beck Carter.
The two men fought fiercely on the dusty ground. Fists flew. Beck was strong and mean, but Luke fought with purpose. He remembered Nalen's stories. He remembered why he was there. With a final strong blow, Luke knocked Beck cold. The other outlaws saw their leader fall and ran away in fear. Luke was hurt. A bullet had grazed his side, but he did not stop. He returned to Nalen, and they continued their journey. Days passed with pain and quiet talks. Luke's respect for Nalen grew deeper. She never complained, even when the sun burned hot or the nights turned cold. She taught him small things about the land, how to read signs in the sand, how to find water, and how to listen to the wind.
At last they reached the Apache village, hidden in a green valley between the hills. The people came out with guns and watchful eyes at first, but when they saw Nalin, joy filled their faces. They helped her down and welcomed her like a lost mother. The village chief stepped forward. He was Nalin's own son, a strong man with kind but serious eyes. He looked at Luke for a long moment. "You brought my mother home safely," he said. "The Carter gang has troubled our land for too long. Today you have helped all of us. You are a friend here." That evening the village held a gathering around a warm fire. Nalin told the full story of Luke's courage. She spoke of how he faced danger again and again without asking for reward. The people listened in silence, then nodded with respect. They gave Luke food, fresh clothes, and a place of honor. Later, Nalin took Luke to her simple home. She placed a beautiful necklace around his neck. It carried beads and a small feather, symbols of honor, protection, and new bonds. "I saw a vision many moons ago," she told him, "a man who was not from our blood, but had the heart of a true warrior. That man is you, Luke." Luke felt something change inside him. For years he had ridden alone, believing he belonged nowhere. Now he felt he had found a new home in the respect of these people.
The next morning, the village was buzzed with excitement. Nalen's granddaughter was returning from a journey of her own. When she rode in, Luke saw her clearly for the first time. Her name was Ayanna. She sat tall on her horse, with strong shoulders and eyes that burned with quiet fire and intelligence. She moved with the grace of the desert wind and the strength of her people. When she learned what Luke had done for her grandmother, she looked at him with deep thanks and something more, a spark of interest. In that moment, Luke understood. This long, dangerous journey had not been only about duty or saving one life. It had been about finding a new beginning. He was no longer just a lone cowboy riding through empty lands. He had become part of a bigger story, one of courage, kindness, and unexpected connection. Sometimes the path we choose for others is the very road that leads us to our true place in the world. Thank you for riding along on this story. Drop your location and time one more time if you'd like, and if it touched you, send some stars, follow, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. See you in the next tale.